Source requirements. The investigator provides the source data in Excel spreadsheet format, .xls or .xlsx, following a specific format. Column A contains sample or subject names. Headers in column B and beyond identify the units. Cell A1 contains the text unit ID. The source worksheet can contain 6 to 250 rows and up to 16,000 columns. Analysis Toolpack and Analysis Toolpack VBA must be activated in Excel. When the main Ranger screen appears at Startup, a pop-up box displays Startup Tips. The Startup Tips provide basic information about working with Ranger. Click the OK button after reading the tips. A command button on the main screen will allow you to review these tips. At the top of the screen you see 6 colored boxes. These are command buttons containing menus of Ranger actions. At the bottom of the screen you see 6 worksheet tabs. These are permanent worksheets required by Ranger. Certain Ranger actions will add and delete worksheets. The various actions will be discussed in separate videos. To retrieve a source file, click on the Retrieve Source button. After clicking the Retrieve Source button, we see a sub-menu of actions from which to choose. If you have already prepared an Excel workbook containing source data, click Select Data Source. If you have no source data available but would like to try out the features of Ranger, a workbook of sample data has been prepared. Go to Ranger's Reference tab. Click on the link to the left of Ranger Sample Science Data. An Excel workbook will display. Click the Download option under File, copying the workbook to your Downloads folder. When you open the workbook, you will see these tabs. The README tab explains the others. They contain sample data for use in Ranger features. An entry screen appears. Click Source Workbook to find the Excel workbook containing the source file. After selecting the workbook, select the worksheet from the list. Enter a short name of 1 to 4 characters. Give thought to the short name. It will be used as part of the names of Ranger-generated worksheets. Other options will be ignored at this time. Click OK. The retrieval process runs in the background. When the process is complete, a pop-up box appears. Click OK. The size of the source file will determine the length of time required to retrieve it. If you selected the option Adjust Extreme Low Values to 0, a pop-up box will provide information about the adjustments that Ranger has made to the data. If you selected the option Consolidate Duplicates, a separate pop-up box will provide information about the consolidation. Other informational messages may be displayed, depending on which source retrieval options were selected. Several worksheets have been added. Source EXP contains the source data that was retrieved. Note that the short name EXP was added to source to name the worksheet. The short name is used in this way to clarify connections between the source data and the generated worksheets. The columns of data are sorted by unit ID. Blue highlighting of unit AGAB indicates that duplicates were found and consolidated. Details about the consolidation can be found in the 3 source DUP worksheets. In the WS worksheet, we can identify worksheets that were added or deleted by the most recent action. In this example, 4 worksheets were added. Note the presence of the short name EXP in 3 of the worksheet names. In the Actions worksheet, we can see the retrieval instructions that were provided on the entry screen. For some actions, information about results may also be provided. In this example, we see that there was 1 duplicated unit ID. Note that the entry in the Actions worksheet has a color highlight that matches the color of the original command button. The Actions worksheet can serve as a useful activity log. Save your work regularly. You will be able to reopen the workbook and pick up at the point where you saved your work. It would be worthwhile to use the Save As option, assigning a name that reflects the status of the workbook. Example, RNGR_EXP_ only. Having saved a workbook containing source data, an investigator can follow several paths of investigation in Ranger. Each can begin with the RNGR_EXP_source_only workbook. The processing time required to retrieve the source data will be saved. For very large source files, the time savings can be significant. For example, if your next step involves mine source, open RNGR_EXP_source only and immediately use save as to rename it something like this. Example, RNGR_EXP_mine_source. Saving a status-specific copy of your Ranger workbook at each stage of your project is a worthwhile strategy. This marks the end of the video.